Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Phi Beta Mu Delta Chapters Legends Project. We are thrilled today to have Mr. Jeff Cannon with us. Mr. Cannon, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. Doing great, Dr. Arhus. How are you doing?
Doing just fine. We're going to get started here with the interview. I wanted to tell our viewers just a little bit about this project. The Phi Beta Mu Legends Project is an online archive that is working to preserve the wisdom and the experiences of Mississippi's most distinguished band directors. And through a collection of video interviews, this initiative is seeking to capture their stories, their teaching successes, and their long contributions to music education in Mississippi, ensuring that their legacy resonates with both current and future generations of musicians and educators. And we gave just a brief introduction just a moment ago, but I want to tell you a little bit more about Mr. Cannon, certainly no stranger to the Mississippi band world. He is a graduate of Pearl High School and was a member of the 1974 Lions All-State Band and served as drum major of the Pirate Marching Band. He has degrees in music education from Delta State and Mississippi College. He was also the drum major of the Delta State Marching Band for 4 years. He was appointed director of bands at the Pearl Public Schools in the summer of 2007, and a lot of highlights from that portion of your career. We'll hear from some other parts as well. But consistent superior ratings, sweepstakes awards, and concert band, marching band, just a tradition of excellence there at Pearl. Some other highlights, including performances at the inaugural parade of President George W. Bush in 2001, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in 1999, and a feature performance on NBC's Today Show, the National Cherry Blossom Festival in Washington, the American School Band Directors Association Award of Excellence for its outstanding instrumental program. And there are other things, but just didn't read all of them. It would have taken a little while to get through all of them. Mr. Cannon retired in 2013 after 33 and a half years of service in public education, but he has certainly remained active in the band world. He has been the manager of the Lions Band since July of 2006 and currently serves as the High School Activities Association Band Events Coordinator for the state of Mississippi. And as if all of that's not enough, he serves as minister of music for Griffith Memorial Baptist Church. And he and his wife, Diane, have 5 children, 7 grandchildren, and 2 wonderful boxers. So, Mr. Cannon, thank you again for making time this afternoon to do this interview. Let's just get started with how you got your start in music.
Well, I think I got my start in instrumental music like everybody does. I started band in the 6th grade, started playing cornet, and that was something that I thought was going to be a lot of fun, because in those days we didn't have 500 TV stations we could watch, and in Pearl, Mississippi during those times we didn't even have a McDonald's to go to. So I thought that band would be and playing cornet would be a great thing, and my parents saw the value in it, and although they were really blue collar workers, they sacrificed and were able to provide me an instrument to play. But really before that, my mom and dad, they couldn't read music at all, but they loved music. And my dad sang in the church choir. When we went on road trips to my grandparents or anything like that, it was always full of singing. They didn't believe in playing the radio. My mom and dad would sing, and all of us would sing too. And so music, even though it wasn't written music or organized music, was kind of ingrained in us as we were growing up.
And you had a good experience as a student in Pearl in the high school band there, and was drum major of the Pearl High School Band. Tell us a little bit about your experience in high school.
Well, our band had gone through a transition at Pearl, and had achieved some success actually, and then we lost our band director, got a brand new band director, and actually 2, but one of them was a keeper and the other one went on to brighter pastures someplace else.
Okay.
But Dolores Parker Stegall came to Pearl. That was her first teaching assignment out of school. And she was a firm believer in fundamentals, and basically started over with our seventh grade class, and taught us the importance of good tone qualities, able to recognize and understand rhythms, and that there's no shortcuts. And so she was what we needed desperately, and she is really the foundation of what the Pearl Band was built on, really.
Oh, that's great, and it's good that you had that experience, because obviously, at some point in your high school career, you decided, you know what, I think I want to pursue music education. So tell us a little bit about how you got into music education when you went to college.
Well, my eighth grade year, Porter Burke came to Pearl, and he's a living legend in Mississippi. He started the Pearl Band, and Pearl Band still carries on his mantra of excellence through perseverance. And he was the first one that ever told me about the exploits of the Mississippi Lions All-State Band. He had been a member of the band when they'd gone to Nice, France, and I just wanted desperately to be a part of that. And so he got me involved with a trumpet teacher that is also a legend, and I was so blessed to have him, Sonny Hill. Sonny Hill is still a force in the music world in Mississippi, and I used to joke at him about that I was his one failure, but he did succeed enough to get me in the Lions All-State Band in 1974.
Well, that's great. And so then you went on to Delta State University and was a music major there.
Not right off.
Okay.
Well, I made some decisions as an 18-year-old that my 25-year-old self probably wouldn't have done, but that's okay. And I ended up laying out of school, went to work in construction for a little while, started raising a family, and a couple of 3 years after graduation, I just felt like, even though construction is a great occupation, I love the people that I worked with, I just wanted desperately to make music my life. And so I called Mr. Burke. Mr. Burke called Bill Clark up at Delta State, arranged for me a audition, even though I hadn't played my horn in 3 years.
Yeah.
And I got a good amount of scholarship, both for my trumpet and also for being drum major of the band. And so I really credit Bill Clark and Porter Burke for me getting into Delta State.
Well, that's good. And so you go on through your time at Delta State, serve as drum major, and graduate and get started in your teaching career. Tell us maybe a story from something early in your teaching career.
Well, I pick it at her all the time. Dolores Parker and I are still. When I first got out, my first teaching assignment was at Madison Ridgeland High School, which is now Madison Central. And so I showed up to actually student taught there. And so Dolores had been doing the band by herself, and it was starting to really grow, and she needed some help. And so I walked in, she says, your responsibility today is to watch me and write down everything I do. And so I did. And so the next day she called me, and this was before cell phones, and she says, hope you enjoy your day and that you wrote down everything I told you, because you're on your own.
Nice.
So that's how my career began. But she would come in and monitor me to make sure that I was doing everything the way she wanted to do, which the fact is, like I've already talked about before, she was just a stickler on making sure that children understood tone production, understood counting, recognizing and counting rhythms and subdividing rhythms, and those things that, are the discipline part of music. And she just, her thing was, there's no easy way to do this. You just have to keep doing it, and you have to stay on them, and this, that, and the other. And so that's how I got my start. And I just thank God that I got to work with her, because she really impressed on me the fact that the fundamental part of teaching is something that you never stop doing. Even if you have a band full of Lions All-State band students, they still have to be taught fundamentally the things that they're supposed to know.
Well, it's interesting. You describe it as her monitoring you, but it sounds also to me like she was mentoring you. You know, she
She
was
was indeed.
making sure that
Yes,
you were not only covering those things, but you were becoming the kind of teacher that would then do those things on your own later on.
that's correct. She was, and I tell her all the time, and she just laughs about it now. That laughs it off. But I really give her credit for me being, the I like to call it a shall we say, an intense rehearsal
Okay.
technician. Because it was just important to me for those young people to do their very best and to be able to achieve great tone and to understand the fundamentals. Because if a student, in my mind, has great tone quality and they understand the other fundamentals of music, they can do anything.
Correct.
You know,
Yep.
and it makes your job in the long run easier. But she's the one I give credit to.
Well, that's good, and that's nice to have that relationship still ongoing.
Yeah.
For someone that was obviously so important then and continues to be important to you to
Yes.
this day. So, Jeff, it's probably hard because there have been a lot of things in this area, but what would be something you would consider maybe the most rewarding moment of your career as a band director?
Uh, oh, I read that when you said, I said, "Oh wow, how can you narrow it down to one thing?" Because you've already mentioned the moment that we marched in President Bush's parade, and you're told not to look at the president, and so I just couldn't stand it. I got right in front of the presidential box and looked him dead in the eye, and he looked at me and he gave me. I kind of well, gave him a whole good old boy Mississippi wave.
Yeah, sure.
That was great, but the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade and the marching through the Today Show and being featured on the Today Show and having our little drum major Morgan Cowart got interviewed. That was 2 years after the shooting at
Yeah.
Pearl High School, and
Mhm.
so she just held herself so well. Was just a pro, represented Pearl High School and the community of Pearl in such a professional fashion to let them know that there's more to Pearl, Mississippi than a shooting, and
Oh, yeah.
the great kids in Pearl needed some recognition too. And so, to answer your question, and probably not many people remember this, but in 1997, I know they remember the shooting at Pearl, how horrific it was, but they probably don't remember that about 2.5 weeks after the shooting, we had our state marching evaluation at Co-Lin, and there was a lot of discussion whether we should go or not, and and participate. And the school psychologists that were involved with us at the time says, no, they need to go. That you need to get them back to normal as soon as possible. So we had 7 students that were wounded during that that shooting, and so we did. The kids, they were a little apprehensive. Ted Burns and I were apprehensive as well. We didn't know how we were going to be received or anything like that. And I hope I can finish this. When we marched into the stadium that day, we got a 5-minute standing ovation. So I'm unapologetically a crybaby from a long time ago. But all of us were crying on the field, and the kids were crying, and then Ted and I were saying, "Gosh, I hope they can play." I hope they can play. But that was an incredible moment for those young people.
Well,
that those kids in the stand recognized what they've been through, and we're trying to lift them up. It was a wonderful moment I'll never forget.
well, that's an amazing story, and that's something that I bet a lot of folks who are watching don't know about. But that's an example of the band community coming together, lifting each other up when you needed it, and doing it in a way that made it unforgettable for you and
Yes.
for the students who are a part of that. And I'm really glad you decided to share that story. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a a difficult point in history with what happened at the school, but there's something right there that was a little bit of a silver lining, and something I'm sure that your kids really needed at that point, whether they
Yeah.
realized it or not. And that's probably the emotion of it all coming to a head right there at the performance.
Yes, and not just the kids or in the school, but the whole community needed something like
Sure.
that at the time. And so it was just one of those moments that you hope you never have to go through, but it sure made me proud to be a Mississippian that day.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That's an incredible story, and I really appreciate your willingness to share that. I'm going to move on to the next thing, and this is something that you're involved with because you see, even in retirement, you are involved with our current group of high school students in the state, many of whom are going to decide that they want to pursue music and music education as a career. What advice would you give to the next generation of music educators, those who are pursuing the degree right now and those who are getting started with their careers right now?
Well, and I hope I don't come across as being an old fuddy-duddy or anything and I used to swear that I would never be that guy. Well, back in the old days,
Yeah,
this is the way we did it.
Mm.
But I'm gonna remind the young people the same thing that I was taught by Dolores Parker, is that there's no shortcuts, and I understand we're in a technology, and there's a lot of things that technology can do for us and to help make our students successful. And I'm all in on that. I agree with, if there's a tool that there's out there that can help the young people become better musicians, I'm all for it. That being said, the two tech pieces of technology that's on the side of your head is the best thing that those kids could have, because those tools that God gave you are the best evaluation tools that you can have to make sure that your students understand tone qualities. Watching them, using your eyes, watching the fact that they have good posture and the fact that they have good hand positions. And the thing is, those hand positions and the posture and all of that kind of stuff, it's not something you can say, okay, we're going to talk about hand position and posture today and let it go for 6 months and then come back. Okay, now I told you 6 months ago, it's something you have to do every single day.
Mhm.
And it sometimes seems like it's mundane, but you're ensuring success for your children when you do that. You can use technology all you want to, but it's not a shortcut to where you want to go.
Very good advice. Very good advice. And yeah, that's it's a tough balance because the folks who are coming out and starting their careers now or been teaching 5 years or less, they've been living in a technology world very different from where it was when I came and when you came through.
Amen.
And there's so much more information. There's so much more technology that's just readily available. Just think about how easy it is now to find a high quality recording of a band piece versus what you had to do 30 years ago to find a good
Correct.
recording
Yeah.
of a band piece. And so taking advantage of that technology, but I agree, just developing and training your ear, there's no substitute for that.
Well, and for instance, I can remember going back to those days at Madison Ridgeland. I can remember when we delved into the world of technology, arrived when we got a brand new Strobo tuner.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
thought we were in heaven at that point in time.
And there's some people who are watching this right now that they've opened a new window on their laptop and they're typing in a Google search, what is a strobo tuner? Because I'm not sure what you're talking about there.
That's right.
Have to go to the musical museum to see one of those right now.
That's correct.
Well, we kind of touched on a meaningful moment, and you recounted something that was truly special. So this may or may not be along the same lines, but is there a particular performance that stands out to you from your teaching career?
Be honest with you, the times when I was head director at Madison Ridgeland, that little band had so many things against it. We had a terrible band hall facility, and I mean, we had no money to spend on anything really. And they had a band director that was really early on in learning his craft. And so they did very, very well in spite of that. And, I can remember, Dr. Arhus, you're talking about 30-something years of performances. I remember the first year in 1992 when we took the second bands to state concert band evaluation. And it was one of the best ensembles I've ever had. They were so good. They were so well rehearsed. And not necessarily through my efforts, but because they were so excited that they were actually getting to go to state evaluation like the big band was,
Yeah.
And of course, what happened was all of the second bands that year got twos. So we all got twos in concert and made all ones in sight reading. So anyway, of course, David Nicholson told me that they didn't give me long enough to mess it up in sight reading. So, but that's another whole story.
Just 5 more minutes, and you could have.
Yeah, just 5 more minutes. You could have had a 2 in sight reading too. But that band was really good. But I'm telling you, the concert bands at Pearl, they just went above and beyond. And I never felt like I was working with a second band. They were just a concert band of developing young people that took it serious, and so we were able to play some pretty heavy literature, even for concert bands, second band back then. But my last year, 2013, the symphonic band was incredible. And but it's not that they were really good musically and technically because we played some big boy music that year too, but they were just wonderful kids. I mean, we had such fun rehearsing and getting ready, and I really hated to leave them. I mean, but they were a great group of kids. So I'm sorry I kind of went around the world on you, but and look, I have to count Lions All-State Band too. There's some incredible performances by that ensemble too every year. So
absolutely. And
anyway,
it's been good to do a few of these with some different people, but there are some common threads. And when you talk to people about their most particular meaningful performance, they oftentimes will share some things like you. They might cite a particular performance specifically, but it always comes back to the students that were in the performance. It wasn't just that, I did this thing. It wasn't like that at all. It was, what did these students achieve? What did we learn and do and grow together? And that's kind of been a common theme for people that I've talked to about that particular question.
One of the things of the many things that I got from Mr. Gary Cook, he was another one of my mentors along the line. One of his favorite things to me was, he said, Jeff, that band does surprisingly well considering the suspect level of instruction they get. And that's the truth. They really did well despite me. And and a lot of times I just had to get out of their way. Those kids were really, really good. So.
Oh, that's great. Well, Mr. Cannon, is there anything else you'd like to add about anything we've talked about?
let me tell you this, and I want to take us just a second of personal privilege. And if you
Sure,
want to cut
sure.
this, if you want to cut this out of the video, it's okay. Uh, what has really been the most gratifying thing to me is for so many of my former students to go on to be band directors, and to have successful careers, to be serious of purpose, because I remind them all the time, you know, you get these kids nowadays, they've 1,000 different things they can choose. And
Mhm,
I got in band because I thought it would be fun, and it was.
mhm.
And so most all of us, I think, feel like learning music will be fun. And so you have to make it fun. You have to be disciplined, absolutely. But it does my heart so good to watch my former students do well. And it really was an awesome moment to see that my youngest son take his symphonic band this year and make all superiors and make sweepstakes. And Dr. Arhus, it doesn't get any better than that. It just doesn't when your own child
Wow.
succeeds.
It's great to see your, over a 33 and a half year career, to have those students who have gone on into music and been successful, certainly your son among those folks. And then also to think about the others that, that went on to success in other aspects of
Correct.
life, other careers, other things, but they will always carry the memories that they had in the band program as things that are special. But that's certainly well said. Is the passing it on, passing on to the next generation. In your case, you have someone in your family, but then there are others that are outside of your family that you're also proud of, and that's quite a legacy, Mr. Cannon.
Well, they may not be blood relatives, but they're part of my family for as
Sure.
long as they live, because we're part of this great band family that's worldwide, and it's all encompassing. And if you ever run into somebody that you really don't know, but they'll say, "Oh, I was in the band," you got a friend.
That's
You got
right.
a friend. And so I'm just thankful for my mom and dad for allowing me the opportunity to be in it. They really couldn't afford it, but they did. And my life has been blessed because of it.
That's great. Mr. Cannon, thank you so much for spending a little time with us today to share a little bit of your story. And we're going to get this up on the YouTube channel as soon as we can. I'll be sure to let you know when it does. And I think this is going to be something that our viewers will enjoy watching and hearing from. Many folks in our state know you because you continue to be such a big presence in the band world in Mississippi. But there are going to be a lot of things that people will watch today, and they'll go, "I did not know that about Mr. Cannon. Didn't know that about his career. Didn't know that about other things that you shared." So I appreciate your willingness to share a little bit of your story today.
Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity, and it's a great honor, and I appreciate it so much.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. See you soon.